Have you ever paused to consider why inequality, poverty, and lack of access to education and healthcare persist in the world, despite the significant advancements in technology and wealth accumulation? Welcome to a journey into some of the most pressing social issues that continue to challenge our world. First, consider inequality. Take the story of a young girl, Fatima, from a remote village in Afghanistan. Despite her incredible intelligence and aspirations to become a doctor, the societal norms and lack of resources in her community limit her chances of pursuing higher education. The reality is that Fatima's story is not unique. It's an echo of countless others across the globe, where social and economic disparities restrict opportunities and potential. Next, think about poverty. Picture the streets of Detroit, Michigan, where families who were once prosperous now live in dilapidated houses, struggling to afford the basics. Economic decline and job displacement have left an indelible mark on these communities. The fact remains, poverty is not just about lack of money, it is about lack of opportunity and resources. Now, let's turn our attention to access to education and healthcare. Imagine a single mother, Maria, in rural Guatemala. She works tirelessly to provide for her children, but is unable to afford schooling or even basic medical care. Despite the world's progress, millions like Maria are still left behind, unable to access the fundamental rights of education and healthcare. Consider two human rights abuses. Think of the Rohingyas in Myanmar, who have been subjected to brutal violence and forced displacement simply because of their ethnicity, or the Uyghurs in China facing systemic oppression and discrimination. These are not isolated incidents, but rather they reflect a global pattern of human rights abuses. Finally, reflect on discrimination. It's the story of James, a young African-American man in the United States who, despite his qualifications, is overlooked for a job because of his race. Or it's the tale of Aisha, a Muslim woman in France, who faces prejudice and bias because of her faith. Discrimination, in all its forms, continues to mar societies worldwide. So, what have we explored today? We've delved into the persistent issue of inequality illustrated through the story of Fatima. We've shed light on poverty using the example of Detroit. We've highlighted the challenges of access to education and healthcare as exemplified by Maria's story. We've touched upon human rights abuses with the Rohingyas and Uyghurs as case studies, and we've discussed discrimination illustrated by the experiences of James and Aisha. These social issues are not confined to certain countries or communities. They are global challenges requiring global solutions. It's not just about pointing out the problems, it's about engaging in conversations, raising awareness, and collectively working towards a more equitable and just world. Thank you for joining this exploration of social issues. Remember, change begins with understanding, and understanding begins with conversation. Keep the dialogue alive.